Welcome to Legal Meets, a look at legal beyond the law, a podcast by Legaler. On this episode of Legal Meets, we meet David Bitton, co-founder and CEO of Practice Panther, a cloud-based practice management software for the legal industry. As an author and CLE speaker, David is obsessed with automating law firms with the help of today's technology. Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Legal Meets. I'm joined by David Bitton, the CEO and co-founder of Practice Panther, with also Nala in the background there, the office morale officer. How you going, David? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having both of us. Actually,
yeah, it's a package deal, and you survived the hurricanes and the storms, and hopefully you came out unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, there's some palm trees still in the background, but it was a bit crazy, but we got a lot of support, a lot of help, a lot of love, so we were good, thank God.
All right, that's awesome. Good to have you here. And so if we kind of want to get a bit of an insight into the David away from the office, if TED Talk got in touch with you tomorrow and said, David, would love for you to give a talk, what would you speak about? What would you share with the world?
That was if TED Talk, you said?
That's right.
If TED Talk got in touch with me, what would I share with the world? I mean, I'm pretty obsessed. My wife says I'm pretty obsessed lately with the topic of automation. I guess we're trying to do it with attorneys' lives, but I think it stemmed because I'm trying to do it with my life. I'm just trying to automate my life in general. So I'd probably teach people how to automate their lives, get more done, save time with anything. I'll give you an example that actually I think I used it on you when we were trying to schedule this legal meets. I sent you a virtual assistant named Amy to schedule the meeting, right? Remember that?
That's right, yeah.
So instead of all this back and forth, are you free this time? This one works for me, that one works for me. Now I use an artificial intelligence AI bot that just schedules my meetings for me. It's just one click. She does it for you. She does all the reach out, follow up, everything, and she puts it on my calendar. So that's just one example of how I'm trying to kind of automate a lot of things in my life, I guess.
So I probably shouldn't have asked Amy out on a date. Was that wrong?
I don't know how to answer this.
I'm waiting to hear back. So have you got the home? Have you got the home set up with a Google Home or a HomeKit?
I've got Alexa in my room. I've got Echo in my downstairs. I have the Wemo smart light switches. Alexa, turn the light on, turn the light off, lower my AC by 2 degrees, lock the door, unlock the door, show me the camera. I mean, my house is decked out with stuff like that. So
that's awesome. And again, it plays into obviously into legal technology because automation being on the rise, and especially for solo, is a big part of trying to compete with the bigger players. And so you're not a lawyer by background. We actually have quite a similar history in terms of I think again all washed up tennis players somehow kind of end up in legal tech, hospitality background, and now again in the legal world. So how did you end up starting Practice Panther and ending up working on legal technology?
So I guess I'll tell you the long story as short as possible. So basically I worked for another startup company called Nova. And it was there where I met my co-founder today named Ori Tammuz. He was the brains, the genius, that hacker mind. He was computer expert, cyber intelligence in the Army. So I was the third person at that company. And together we grew the company to over 35 people, thousands of customers worldwide. So I was there from the beginning doing sales, support, marketing, billing, every department you can imagine. I grew up the company. We grew together. It was awesome. I then ended up branching off to start my own 2 companies. And as I was selling those companies, he was selling his company. And they were listen, we work great together. Let's start another company. And Practice Panther was born. In that range, we really were going for a bigger idea. Let's make a software time tracking billing for everyone, any industry, everyone. No niche market. Let's go big. And that was a big mistake. Business 101, it slapped us in the face. So at the time, I ended up getting married, and so did he. And we both married attorneys. They were both complaining about software. We looked at the market. A third of our customers were attorneys. It was complete fluke. So we're wow, it's hitting us in the face. We needed to pivot and make a software for attorneys. So we took what we had. We made it for attorneys. We made it just a lot better and easier, more user-friendly. And it was born. Yeah.
So basically, your wife made you do it. Is that
pretty much? Yeah. She's I hate my software. I hate this. I mean, she was using server-based stuff. So she was always home. She's oh, the server crashed today. Another day at the office. Or the internet went down, another day at the office, and they were just losing money. And she was so upset. It was driving her crazy. And same with my partner's wife. So we're like, oh my God, like there's got to be a better way. So then the cloud was like becoming a big topic. And like, we have to go to the cloud. It's the wave of the future. You know, it's like legaler. It's, you know, you're in the cloud. It's easy to do this whole video chat without downloading software, using Skype or connecting. It was very easy connecting right now. So that's the future, I think.
Well, again, I think a lot of people forget it wasn't that long ago that we were getting software shrink wrapped. A feature update, you possibly had to wait. You know, it might have got done, but you had to wait another 2 years for it to kind of, you know, land on your table. But
here's the CD version 2.0 install.
Exactly, it was not that long ago, and so you know, with that insight, again, being in IT and having seen the other industries, and initially it sounds like you were trying to, you know, make this for everyone, like accountants and whatever else. But did that give you a bit of an insight into how to approach the legal industry, being a non-lawyer, again, having a bit of a tech background in terms of IT?
Did you kind of just see some glaringly obvious kind of solutions to some glaringly obvious problems?
I think we did. Yeah, we're not lawyers, but we did do a similar company before this at Nova. So it was very similar, and it was similar problems like wasting time, not making enough money, doing a lot of back and admin work. So we were used to similar industries. For us, I guess our biggest thing was just ease of use, usability, intuitiveness, just like legal. It's so easy. You know, I don't need to learn. You didn't need to teach me anything. I signed up, I joined the webcast, and boom, I was in. Same thing with our software. We took that experience and we have to make it easy. Other softwares at the time, you had to watch training videos, get a handhold walking. They would fly to your office, set up a legal software, watch all these videos. We're like, no, like let's simplify this, dumb it down so anyone can use it, no matter age or experience. We have something funny we call the grandfather test. If our grandfathers can use our software, you can use it. And it's like, you know, I compared a lot to an iPhone. I said, when you turn on your iPhone for the first time, it's like, next, step 2, put your name on. Okay, you're ready to go. Like that's how we have to develop our software. So I think that experience kind of came into play here.
Yeah, so that user experience and the onboarding is basically just baked into the product. It's the core DNA, like
Yes.
you know, in the product. Okay,
Day one.
Yep. And that's a big thing, right? Getting lawyers to not be afraid of adopting technology and making a friend instead of a foe. It's a big part of it. So
yeah.
Great to hear.
I have to throw you also a good bone, because when I met you, I think 2 years ago, you were in beta, you barely launched yet, and your software was still really easy to use. Like a nice interface, nice UI, nice UX, good designer. And I complimented you 2 years ago. I'm like, you are doing an awesome job. So when it's baked in from day one, it sets the tone for the rest of your life cycle.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. And again, we met at the ABA Tech Show all those years ago, and it's great to see Practice Panther become leaps from now.
And likewise, you too.
Yeah, it's an interesting and fun journey. So it's good to be on it with you. And so Practice Panther, obviously in that time, you know, you raised a big funding round, and the product spread into how many countries now?
I think we're in over 35 countries now. Last time I checked.
Awesome. All right, great stuff. And then also different languages. So obviously slowly taking over the world. You know, take us through some of the core features. What are the things that the lawyers are really kind of gravitating towards? What's you know, when someone thinks Practice Panther, what are they really kind of you know, bringing into their law firm?
So the main goal is to make things as easy as possible. We don't want to change lawyers' workflows. If they're already using Microsoft Word, Excel, Outlook, Office 365, PowerPoint, Dropbox, Box, QuickBooks, we don't want them to switch from using those programs. They're already used to it. We don't want to change their whole life. So we say, here, sign up, here's your integrations, link everything together. So you're still using those programs, but now it's all in one. So if you get a new client, you don't need to add them into 12 different locations or pull up data from 12 locations. It's all in one. It's easy. It's simplified. It's user-friendly. You can have a virtual law firm. You can work from anywhere. You can get more done in less time. So our whole mission and goal, whenever adding anything new, is how can we save lawyers more time? How can we make things even easier? How can we make them more efficient? How can we make them stop spending so much time on back-end admin work and spend more time actually practicing law?
I noticed, again, you guys are quite active on social media and
Great in front of the
I would
camera.
say, I would say Nala is more active than we
Yeah,
are.
right.
It's the most likes and comments of every post.
That always sucks, right? You put so much effort into these posts, and then it's just like one doggy photo kills all your dreams.
Kills everything.
But again, you do a lot of cool Facebook Live videos and demos, and I noticed one a short time ago where it was a practical run through, basically with a new client.
And it was I guess, the automation of the onboarding process where
the client had a iPad, put in front of him by the lawyer or the assistant. So just explain that, because I saw that as a real. I know, but from both sides, like both going to see a lawyer, it's quite painful, kind of giving that information. But also, I imagine for the lawyers, it creates a lot of, the old way would obviously create a lot of paperwork and headaches.
Yeah, so I mean, it's 2017. A lot of these cool tools exist out there that people aren't using. So one way that we had an idea to save them time is by integrating their whole intake process into an iPad or computer or laptop or on their website. So traditionally, how it would work is you'd go into a law firm office. They would give you this crazy 5-sheet to fill out. You'd fill it out in sloppy handwriting. You'd hand it back to paralegal. They would have to type everything up. That's more waste of time. They'd probably make mistakes, human error. They can't read your handwriting.
Translate your handwriting.
Generate a doc. Yeah, can't read your handwriting. They have to generate documents, making a retainer agreement. Also, all this takes time. So now it's like a client comes into your office. Here's an iPad. Number one, that's like, wow, you're very modern, cool, very digital. They fill it on the iPad, no human error. They click submit. The paralegal gets it right away. It creates their contact in Practice Panther. And then in one click, they generate a retainer agreement. So within 10 seconds, they're like, oh, here, by the way, I just printed your retainer agreement. Sign this here. And if you could use electronic signature on the iPad also. So it's like, whoa, the whole flow for the client now is like, you are really high tech. You are really advanced. So besides that, we also do the client portal, which we always tell lawyers it makes them very transparent to their clients. Their clients can log into their website any time of day and see all their past invoices, how much money they have in their trust account, all the upcoming tasks, events, meetings, deadlines, court dates, all the money. They can see everything. So these days, it's all about transparency, and you have to give all these tools and transparency to your clients.
That's awesome, and it's funny because the path of the course is, the client's expectation is becoming that. Like they expect to kind of be doing things in the most simple kind of technology-enabled way, but if lawyers are adopting it, they don't realize how much time it actually saves them as well, right? So it's almost the resistance is coming for the wrong reasons, I guess. So
I'll tell you one thing as well. So we had a consultant come in recently, and they're like, "Who are your clients?" We're like, "Oh, attorneys and paralegals." They're no. Who are your other clients? I was like, okay, so I guess we're also affecting not just attorneys and paralegals, we're also affecting their clients. So their clients are also our clients technically in a way. So we have to make that user experience really good for everyone along the way, basically.
Yeah, it's not an afterthought, right? They're part of that whole ecosystem of your product. Yeah, all right, awesome. And so with that in mind and those advantages that you just mentioned, are you starting to see a shift in the adoption? Like, is it actually, are you finding the conversations easier? Are the sales kind of questions changing? Has the cloud become the norm, or is it still, is going paperless still is kind of, far off, kind of Elysian fields?
Yeah. So I'll tell you. So number one, I guess when people are already signing up to us, they're signing up knowing that we're cloud-based and web-based. So we're not really getting people that are more old school using service. So it's been like that always since day one. But just in general, from going to shows 4 years ago to going to shows today, oh yeah, I mean, everyone's embracing the cloud. Everyone's talking highly about it. Everyone knows that it's more secure than your dinky little server in the closet. That's a one-man show or IT team. So I think what people are realizing, like, I don't know if you knew this, but I used to have a computer repair company. And back then, right? So I used to go out to offices and fix computers and servers, and I was trained by other companies. And they're always like, yeah, always scare them. Servers are the safest. Cloud is dangerous. Why? And I was like, but that's not true. Like Microsoft and Google are safer than this like $200 server that we're putting in. You're like, yeah, but if they get rid of all this equipment, we don't make money on the equipment. We don't make commission on the equipment. We can't upgrade the equipment. We can't come in every month for server maintenance. I was like, wow, like this is mind blowing. Like I didn't like it, so I got out of it. I was like, this is very sketchy. I got out of it. And now that it's funny that years later I'm in this industry and I see some IT people like saying the same things. I'm like, oh my God, it hasn't stopped. They're still scaring lawyers.
It's good. Scaremongering kind of it worked, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I think over the years, it's been a good shift, a good adoption going to the cloud. It's a lot safer. People know that. So it's been easier along the way, and we're teaching people that cloud is safe.
Yeah, I remember talking to Sam Glover, and he was like, hopefully the conversations become more about, I guess the risk management as opposed to cloud or not, or paperless or not. So hopefully that's, again, that conversation's kind of gone, and now it's about how do you employ best practice, how do you kind of, look for the best services, and again, look after your client data and whatever else. So, all right, well, that's good. And so, again, how can lawyers that are got that $200 dinky server sitting in the cupboard. That I think that's the other thing is like obviously security. If someone wants to compromise
your servers, they know where they are generally in your office. So with the cloud, there's no kind of single point of failure or
somewhere to actually hack because it's quite dynamic. So that's part of the benefit. So how do you kind of if I'm a lawyer today, all my stuff's still coming, shrink wrapped, my software. I've got, again, the server sitting in the corner. How do I actually start making that transition? What's the best way to kind of, is it bite size? Is it kind of throw everything out? What's the best way to kind of make that transition for people?
No, we definitely don't want them to lose all their information. So with at least with our company, I can't speak for others, but with us, we try to make it as seamless and easy as possible. So if you have a server or you don't, or you have things on your computer, things are everywhere, we'll help you migrate over. We have actually a migration team that we've actually built over the last few months, a whole department just helping people migrate over. So if you have other software you're using or things are in Excel or you have Dropbox or Box, will help you sync everything over. We have an awesome, easy Excel template. Give us all your data, give us everything that you want, and we will put it into our software for you. You don't need to worry about it. We help you along the way. There's certain things that we ask you to do, some cleanup, and it's actually cool because we don't want, there's like a saying like garbage in, garbage out. Like we don't want you to take your garbage and clutter our software with your garbage again.
It's a chance to spring clean, right? So.
Exactly. So spring cleaning things up, making it more efficient, getting new processes, procedures in place, just optimizing everything when they go to a new software. But it's easy, within a week, they can be trained, set up, things are migrated over, and they're using a new software. So it's actually good that we're talking now because January 1st is like the big date for a lot of lawyers to start fresh, start new for the new year, get accounting in order. If someone's watching this, like now is the time to start getting things in order for January 1st.
Okay, that makes sense. So then it's also good to hear. I didn't realize you had a migration team because that's one of the biggest things with, I guess, any business, but especially for legal because of all the client files. I think the biggest barrier that I see is just this dreaded thought of, wow, we're going to have to kind of take all of this. And again, a lot of these old legacy software providers don't make it easy for you. That you're kind of locked in. They don't make it easy for you to export and whatever else.
You say locked in, you're laughing, but I don't know if you know this. Like a lot of softwares will not let them export their data. Like it's crazy. They're trying to lock them in for life. It's really scary.
And so you want to make sure, obviously, when people use Practice Panther, they still own all the data and all that kind of stuff. So that's good to know. All right, brilliant. So again, let's take this one step further. You're going to start a law firm tomorrow. You got a clean slate. So with everything you know about the technology, your automation, we don't have to name every piece of software that's going to be a part of this puzzle. But if you have to start a law firm tomorrow, you're going to have Practice Panther there, obviously. What else are you going to do to kind of make your life simpler? What other innovations have you seen recently? Again, cloud technology, whether it's kind of employing AI, or simple accounting software, whatever it is. What would you bring into your law firm if you started tomorrow?
Wow, that's a good question. So if I were to start my law firm tomorrow, okay, so I'm a sucker for automation. So number one, obviously the scheduling software. If I have to schedule meetings with clients, I would definitely use that. Case management software goes without saying. For me, I think I would probably have like a virtual law firm. So instead of getting a fancy office where no one comes to, I'd work from home or have like a virtual law office where I can always go into if I need to, like a shared workspace with a conference room I could use. But it would probably be virtual for me personally. So I'd have a case manager software so I can manage everything in the cloud. And if I had paralegals or other attorneys working with me or of counsel, everyone can kind of collaborate. I'd probably get Legaler to schedule video interviews with clients. I would definitely get a WordPress website set up right away to have like the intake form go in smoothly from the website to there. Let's see, receptionist. I probably wouldn't hire one. I'd probably use something like Call Ruby to have a virtual receptionist.
Yep.
Really easy, very affordable. And then last thing.
And so does Practice Panther handle the document automation, or do you kind of do parts of it? Or, how would that work? Yeah, okay, cool.
So once all the client information is in the software, let's say case name, case number, client name, phone number, email, all that stuff, you can click generate retainer agreement. In one click, it generates a document, and you can save it as a Word doc and email it to your client right from there.
Okay, so auto-populates all the required fields.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably what I do, yeah.
All right, well, it sounds like you want to enjoy the good weather in Miami, and obviously there's worse places to work virtually from. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, so again, this might not be a new concept, but a lot of the research coming out is showing some, I guess, dire statistics around if I can say it, utilization of hours, right? So the billable hours that
lawyers are able to kind of basically maximize throughout their day. And it's coming out, after adjustments for billing and whatever else, coming out around 1.6 hours a day, which is very, very, very low, obviously, for
a traditional business that's been based on the hourly rate. To kind of consider that across the average of the industry, you're walking away with about 2 hours of billable hours a day. So again, kind of getting back to, I guess, probably automation and things like that. But how can this be combated? Like, how can lawyers, especially solos and small firms, again, they're trying to compete with the bigger players. How can they kind of look at what they're doing and go, okay, there's a certain amount of hours in the day. How do I actually convert more of those hours into billable hours? It's not even to say that running the clock, but how can I actually get more value, I guess, out of the day, and more value, I guess, delivered to their clients? Because that's ultimately kind of the goal.
So I'll tell you a funny story, actually. When we were first launching, I was talking to friends that were attorneys, and I had one friend that was a really successful lawyer, and he wasn't using software. And I asked him straight up, I was like, how come you never use a software? You have this big firm. And he's like, I'll tell you the truth. When I first started, I couldn't afford it. I had only 1 or 2 cases, so I just never did it. And then once I started growing, it was too late and it just took too long. I just never did it. So he's like, now he told me he spends 80%, which would make sense, 80% of his time doing back-end admin work, document stuff, billing stuff. Like, he's not actually working. He's marketing, trying to find new clients. And that really hit me. So I was like, okay, so how can we get new solos or small firms or people that don't have a lot of business yet to use software to start off on the right foot? So we have a law school scholarship program now where law students can actually use software for free. Oh. And if you're a solo practitioner, we also have like a solo scholarship, we call it, where your first 3 clients and first 3 cases are completely free. You have an unlimited free trial as long as you don't go over that 3 limit, so you can use it and grow with us, basically. And then as far as more experienced attorneys that are only billing, 1.8 hours out of the 8-hour workday, I think a lot of them are probably doing a lot of manual work. So, for example, they'll have a notepad where they're tracking time. Then they have to submit it to their paralegal, who's got to put it in Excel, and they have to generate that in a Word document for an invoice, summarize it, save it as a PDF, print it, put it in an envelope, mail it, follow up with customers on the phone did you get my invoice? Did you get my payment? So there's a lot of things. I got blurry for a second. There's a lot of things that you can, oh, come on, Logitech camera. Focused. Yeah. There you go. So there's a lot of things that they're doing manually that they can automate right now. Just as the example I gave before, intake forms, something so simple as that could save them 15 minutes for every client every day. Generating invoices takes 8 hours a month for most attorneys. And with us, It's click of a button, generate, and send to your clients. How about just following up with clients by phone? Did you get my invoice? Did you get my payment? So when they get the invoice and they open it, they get your invoice. There's a notification alert. And then if they haven't paid you, automated email payment reminders. So we're trying to automate all this for attorneys, which I think will help them get there. Yeah.
And so just that one, I guess, act of calling up a client and trying to find out what the bill is. Obviously, it's not just getting the payments earlier. That's one thing. That's a big. I think that's one of the biggest problems I hear from lawyers. Obviously, chasing up outstanding bills. But then it sounds like just that act of the time involved
is thousands of dollars a month. Like, just actually time spent away from billing.
I mean, it's funny, in every like business or industry, anything you're trying to sell, it's always like, time is money, save time, save money. But for lawyers, time literally is money. So, for us, we're saving attorneys 8 hours on average a month, which is crazy. So 8 hours a month times the average $250 an hour is $2,000 a month that they're saving now on billable hours that they can now focus on billing clients. So time is money. They should save as much as they can. In my opinion, I'm a big automation believer, as you know, so automate as much as you can. You'll just get more done quicker.
Yeah, and again, it's twofold. I think if you're able to kind of get away from those menial tasks, it sounds like you're going to have happier clients because you're probably giving them better service and probably more attentive, and you got more time to actually offer. So you probably end up either getting more retention in your clients or developing more business. So it's a no-brainer, really. So and with a lot of the Practice Panther users that we encounter on Legaler and in the market, one thing I really hear consistently is about the customer service. And again, the migration team is a good example of you guys being close to your customers. So is there any, I guess, favorite customer success stories that you have that, that you kind of have really seen the impact of, someone going to the cloud and using your service?
Yeah, I mean, the one that comes to mind right away is like, we love this person and we've known her from day one years ago. We launched in beta, and her name is Asta Madan. She's an attorney based out of California. And when we first met her, she was just starting our firm. We were just starting our company, and we had like an Instagram promotion. We're like, oh, comment why you deserve Practice Panther, and we'll give you 6 months free. She had the best comment, the first one. She was what they call like the early adopter innovator. So she came, she tried us out. And from day one, we've seen her grow, and we've been helping her grow. And every feature she's using it, she's like, she loves it. And we've been following her progress over the years. It's been incredible what she's been able to accomplish with our software growing with us. I'm so proud of her. I hope she watches it. I'm so proud of you, Asta, for what you've been doing.
It's interesting that you mentioned her because she has actually been on the platform, and we've chatted in the past. And again, lovely lady, and she was in the process of again automating a lot of things, getting busier and booking and doing an upgrade to the website and all that kind of stuff. So and I actually do recall her saying she's a Practice Panther lifer. So
yeah, she is. She for sure is. I mean, she didn't really have a website when she first started, and I helped her get set up with WordPress, how to build a good website. Now that she has a good website, okay, you got to put an intake form on the website that connects to Practice Panther. You got to generate your documents automatically. You got to have scheduling. So all these tools that we've been building, Client Portal, Pay Now, she's built all that into her website and into her practice, and I'm so proud of her. She's grown tremendously, and it's great. We've been growing together, so it's very cool.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And again, like you said, it's not just here's some software. It's the whole, how to be a better lawyer. So that's awesome.
Correct.
And so what's next for you guys? What's on the horizon in terms of, is there any kind of cool features?
Yeah, so there's a big one coming out soon. It is going to be an integration with Law Toolbox to automate deadline scheduling for your calendar. So basically, when attorneys get something back from the court, you have this court date coming up, they have to start looking up deadlines. It takes a long time, scheduling each one on their calendar. So we're trying to automate that process again. So instead of saving time on research and scheduling and reminders and deadlines, and the number one reason for bar complaints and malpractice is missed deadlines and missed court dates. So we're trying to get rid of that for them. No more bar complaints, no more malpractice, anything like that. So with this integration, they're going to basically be able to select the jurisdiction, let's say Miami-Dade, Florida, select the court, and in one click, it will load all the deadlines in their calendar, let's say 10 coming up deadlines. They can schedule reminders, text message reminders, email reminders, pop-up reminders, not just for themselves, but also for their clients. Once again, client-facing tools. It's very important to us.
All right, David, we're going to let you and Nala get back to running the Practice Panther empire. So one day you're going to have a panther in the maybe in the office, like
one day,
a mascot. So just a couple quick fire questions. Are you an Android, Windows, or an iOS user?
Oof. So I don't want to say I'm what's the word? I don't even know the word, but I have a MacBook Pro running Windows OS on it.
Oh wow, okay. Is that the main OS that you use?
Yeah, I'm running Windows main. I love the Mac because like the size and the battery life and portability and all that, and the processor speed, which is great. And then as far as Android versus iPhone, I used to have Android, but now I'm an iOS user. iPhone, Apple Watch, the whole Apple suite. Yeah.
Okay, so hardware-wise, you're well and truly in the Apple ecosystem, but
yeah,
I guess true to
my PC nerd roots. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, cool. And is there any other part of? I mean, again, you mentioned the penchant towards automation, but is there any other kind of tech or something? It can be anything. Is there any part of your life that is dependent, or you just one bit of technology that you just can't live without?
My laptop. I mean, my laptop is my life. I take this thing everywhere with me. I don't leave it, for 1 second. I go to bed with it. I wake up with it. It's just I'm always on my laptop, which is also why I love the MacBook Pro, light, slim, good battery life. My laptop is my life.
Yeah, and I was saying this on the last episode. It was interesting going to some of these legal technology conferences where I think in the past it was just Dells and a lot of PC based computers, but now you're seeing kind of the early adopters, the legal techies, the legal technologists kind of flip up, sitting there on the table with taking notes in either iPads or MacBook,
Yep.
Pros and whatever else. So It's interesting to see this shift. Now there's a lot of lawyers using the Surface now because obviously that's helped kind of kill a couple of birds. They kind of use it as a tablet and a kind of laptop. So yeah, cool. And so obviously Practice Panther is cloud-based, so it doesn't matter to the lawyer what they're using, right?
Nope. Any device, any computer. So a Windows PC, a MacBook, Android phone, iPhone, Amazon Fire Phone, everything. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing that we did also from day one, we knew the technology was changing so fast. New phones, new devices. Amazon came out with them. Like, it's crazy. So from day one, the whole software is responsive and mobile friendly to any device. So if you have a new device that comes out, there is no native app for it. Everything will automatically resize to fit your screen size.
Okay, that's good to know. All right. And so finally, is there any kind of rituals, any part of your day that you kind of, again, love to get to and kind of just keeps you sane? Is there anything that you kind of do as a ritual?
Rituals. Rituals. I mean, as far as productivity and I guess like business rituals, so every day I am glued to my watch and my phone. I literally will have like my watch in the shower or my phone next to the shower. So there's always ideas flying through my head, always. So I read a great book, I forget what it was called, but it was like you have to have some sort of garbage dump where you just dump all these ideas too. So from the shower, oh, Siri, remind me today to do this or this idea, that idea. So I have like a dump of all my ideas and tasks and things I need to do out of my head. Otherwise, it will drive me crazy, things to remember. I just dump it to my calendar. And then every morning I come into work, I get my actually pen and paper notepad out. I don't use technology for this one part. And then I just go through and write everything that I got to do today. And then I prioritize it. So that's kind of my ritual, I guess you could say.
Ah, okay. So there's a treasure trove of kind of $1 million ideas kind of sitting there. The next features
in the calendar.
Yeah, so you got the next features of the next cool features for Practice Panther. All right,
like take out get the dry cleaning and take over the world.
Buy the wife some jewelry. Say I'm sorry.
Exactly. Expand to Asia right next to it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, we better let you get back to again. I think you've got the dog knocking. Nala's knocking on the cabinet there. She's getting tired now, but she was looking for some. I could see her looking for some treats in the cupboard before, so she definitely knows where they're hidden. So that's good to know. All right, David, thanks for joining us on this episode of Legal Meets, and I wish you all the best. And really looking forward to all the new features. And good luck with everything. So we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. Take care.
Good evening.